Good. Well, let's start then. Let's start in a few moments of seated meditation just to ground ourselves and let ourselves arrive. I'm happy you are joining me here today via Zoom. Perennial feels more and more like home every day, or more and more familiar, I should say. Right now, I'm having to live with the smell of our shiitake mushrooms wafting through the studio. They're just mouth-watering. So my tummy is growling, and I'm excited to be here. So blink your eyes closed and allow yourself to sink into your body. And do so by feeling your sit bones pressed into your mat, your spine rising tall, and bringing your attention to your breath. By paying attention to sensations in the body, good or uncomfortable ones, we are reminding ourselves that we have this physical body, which is our vehicle that carries us around. And we are here on our mat to move that vehicle, to nourish that vehicle with movement. And then when we focus on our breath, we remind ourselves that we have a subtle body as well. This life force that flows through us and animates our physical body, helps us show up energetically in our lives for ourselves and for others. When we bring the physical and the subtle body together, when we link it with our mind, with our willingness to be right here in the present moment, right now, then we're practicing yoga. This union of mind, body, spirit, body and breath. Allow your jaw to soften, your cheekbones to slide down your face a bit, and all the muscles in the face relax. Maybe just in the simple act of doing that, you notice that you were holding some tension in your face. And by bringing your attention to that, you can make a shift in your state of being. That's the practice of yoga too. Turning our attention towards something and recognizing that we have the power to shift our present experience. So draw your hands together in Anjali Mudra, which is basically both palms together in front of your heart space. And call to attention maybe some part of your physical, emotional, or experiential life that you would like to bring your attention to in order to create a shift in. Just know by the power of directing your attention in that way, you've already begun the process. You've already taken what could be called the biggest step. So place that intention or that desire into your heart space. And that's all you need to do for now. Just place it there and hold it gently. Let your hands come down onto the tops of your knees. And then just open your eyes, turn your hands so that your palms are facing up. And just look at one of your hands. It doesn't matter which one. And notice that you have 5 fingers. And there are 5 elements in the universe, 5 elements that make up each of us. And those elements are earth, water, fire, air, and ether. And then there are other ways we can see what constitutes our whole being. It's our mind body, our physical body, our emotional body. So you can see those represented in 3 of the fingers. You can also recognize the other 2 as aspects of feminine energy and masculine energy that run through all of us, regardless of our gender. So just bring your hands together one more time in Anjali Mudra in front of your heart and honor that you are all of those things, all of those elements, all of those energies. And yet, when they all come together, they create you and only you. There is no other being that is exactly like you. Celebrate how beautiful that makes you, how magnificent that makes you, and how important it makes you. Because without you contributing your personal dharma, which means purpose, the whole would not be the way it is. And then acknowledge that all the people in your life are also their own unique contribution, their own unique makeup. And honor them for bringing that into your life. Even the parts that maybe are the places where you don't mix together so well. Even that is important in the scheme of the whole picture. And gaze down towards your fingertips. See it all right there, contained in this expression of Anjali Mudra. You, me, everything. And instead of seeing the world as this or that, together let's set an intention to see the world as this, that, and everything. Thank you. Open your eyes now. Make your way to tabletop position, please. Setting up for some rounds of cat and cow to start to move the spine and move the energy from the base of the spine up towards the crown. So as you inhale, lower your belly, lift your gaze some. And as you exhale, draw it the other direction. So drawing navel to spine, chin to chest. Inhale, lower your belly and lift your gaze. Exhale, round. And keep flowing in that direction, moving to the pace of your own breath. Do one more in each direction. And then come back to a level back side. Okay, now on your inhale, lift your right arm up towards the ceiling. Turn your gaze and look up at your right fingertips. And then as you exhale, sweep your right arm under, but we're not going to set it down. It's just going to kind of float up along the left side of your mat. As you inhale, bring the right arm back up over your head, gaze to follow. And then exhale, just wave it underneath your left arm, palm up, look at your fingers, and do that one more time. Inhale, sweep the right arm up, feel the right side body opening, and then exhale, draw it around and under. And now this time, take your right hand up to your left shoulder blade. Just kind of wrap it up like you're holding on to your left shoulder blade here, and keep your clasp there, and just draw gently down on your shoulder blade, feeling the stretch across your right shoulder. Good, and then reach your right arm up one more time. And bring your right hand down so you return to tabletop. As you inhale, lift your left arm up towards the sky. Exhale, wrap it underneath your right arm, palm up. Let it reach towards the right side of your room. And then inhale, sweep your left arm up again. And exhale, draw it underneath. One more time like that. Inhale, reaching the left arm high above. And then exhale, wrapping it under. Now take your left hand, reach up around, find your right shoulder blade. Use your fingers to kind of hold on to that, and then just feel that stretch along your left shoulder and arm. And then reach the left arm back up towards the sky. Breathe in. Exhale your left hand down and curl your toes under. Lift your knees off the mat, but don't come all the way into downward facing dog. Just hover some here. Maybe you pedal your feet some. You could even swish your hips from side to side. And then slowly make your way towards downward facing dog. But keeping your knees slightly bent still, since we're still early in the practice. Moving around, finding the ground beneath you, making a connection to it. So letting yourself feel the ground in your body, meeting the ground of the mat and the earth beneath your mat. And then connecting with some small movements that represent flow like water. Now walk your feet forward to the top of your mat near your wrists. And when you get there, separate your feet hip distance and crease at your hips and fold, bending your knees, letting your ribs press against your thighs some. Allow your head to hang. Remember to soften your jaw and your cheekbones and your forehead. Something that we need to practice doing over and over again. And then slowly press your feet down into the ground so you can bring yourself up to a standing position. And then extend your arms up over your head for high mountain pose. Draw your hands back down in front of your heart for Anjali Mudra. And then release your arms to your side, Tadasana. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, hinge and forward fold. Lift up halfway, breathe in, and step back to downward facing dog. Stay here for a couple breaths in your second downward facing dog, continuing to kind of feel your way into it. Not being rigid, but letting the dog find its way to make a deeper and more meaningful connection to the ground. And then come out long to plank pose. Right away, you could bring your knees down if you'd like. Otherwise, keep your knees up and draw your navel to your spine. Broaden through your shoulder blades. Gaze just beyond your mat. If your knees aren't down, lower them now, and then exhale down through an 8-point pose. So your backside stays lifted and you bring your chest down near your thumbs. Then you slide forward, flip your feet, and inhale into Bhujangasana, cobra pose. Exhale, lower your chin towards the floor. And then do 2 more of those. Inhale, rising, Bhujangasana. Exhale, lowering. Use just a light touch through the palms to bring you up. It's more back muscle than arm strength, and then lower down. And now go to tabletop, curl your toes, and make your way to downward facing dog. Inhale through your nose, and exhale out your mouth. Inhale and walk forward to the top of your mat. Fold in when you get there, exhaling all the breath out. Inhale, rise, reaching your arms all the way up over your head. Hands come to the heart as you exhale. And then you release your arms to your side as you inhale. Take your hands back to your heart as you exhale. As you inhale, sweep your arms out wide to the side and up and over your head. Exhale, hinge, forward fold, down to your mat. Step your right leg to the back, lower your right knee to the floor, and bring your hands up onto the top of your left thigh. Take a breath in here. As you exhale, glide your hips forward towards the front of your mat into a little deeper lunge here. Stay for a breath. Now bring your right hand down right next to your left foot. Lift your right knee and lift your left arm. So simple twist here. Press out and back through your right heel. Draw your right side down and around. So you're twisting from the navel up, okay? Take a breath. Sweep your left arm under your left thigh. Just wrap it under like an elephant trunk. And then inhale, sweep your left arm back up. And we'll do that again. Exhale, wrap. Once more, inhale, reach your left arm up. Set your left hand next to your left foot. Step forward and fold into yourself. Rise all the way up, reaching the top on your inhale, and exhale and forward fold all the way down to Uttanasana, forward fold. Lift up halfway and breathe in, and then set your fingers down and step your left foot to the back of your mat. Lower your left knee, bring your hands to the top of your right thigh. Shoulders come back over hips to start. And then as you exhale, you glide your hips towards the top of your mat here. And then we'll stay for a breath, just like this, feeling the opening in the front of the left hip. And then your left hand goes down. You can keep your left knee down or lift it and extend your right arm to the sky. Press out through the back or the bottom of your left heel. Inhale. Wrap your right arm under your right thigh as you exhale. 2 more of those. Inhale, reaching up through the right arm. Exhale, wrapping it like an elephant trunk underneath your right thigh. Once more, inhale. And exhale. This time we'll step back into a plank, knees up or down, and then lower our knees. Keep your elbows close, 8-point pose. Chest comes down between your thumbs. Slide forward on your belly, flip your feet. Inhale, lift to cobra pose. Exhale, lower your chin down towards the floor. Go through tabletop on your way to downward facing dog. Take a breath in here. Exhale it out. Take another breath in and walk to the top of your mat. And exhale and forward fold. Come up into Utkatasana now, awkward pose, rising. The knees stay bent, the hips draw back, heart presses forward, arms extend long, right alongside your ears. And then notice if you're knocking your knees together and put a little space there. Think about drawing your ribs in underneath your heart some. Breathe in here, forward fold, and as you exhale, step your right foot to the back of your mat and lower your right knee to the floor. Inhale and windmill yourself up to Warrior Two pose. So the left knee is bent, right leg long, arms extending forward and back. Inhale your shoulders up by your ears, roll them back behind you, and exhale, lower them down. And then bring length and strength into your back leg by really pressing down through the pinky toe side of your right foot. And then it's kind of a stubbing of your front foot into the mat and a deepening into the left knee. Tip back to peaceful. It's just a breath in that lengthens you along the left side body. Then windmill down to the floor. Turn your back heel up to the sky. Lift your left arm to the sky. Take that elephant trunk, exhale, sweep of the left arm under. Reach the left arm back up. Bring your left hand down by your front foot and step your right foot up to meet your left one. Exhale, fold in. Come into Utkatasana as you inhale. Being here for a few breaths, remembering that space between the ribs, or space between the knees, ribs drawn in, shoulders down your back. Breath in, forward fold, breath out. Step back through your left foot. Turn the heel down first. Use the left arm to windmill yourself up and open into Virabhadrasana 2. So build it from the ground up, really rounding down or in through the back foot, lifting up through the inner arch, deepening through the right knee, shoulders down, ribs drawn in. Gaze can be right over your right fingers. And the breath is part of the practice. Never forget that. So your focus goes to your breath now. Even breath, in and out. On your next inhale, tip back to peaceful. Windmill down to the ground. When you get there, turn your back heel up towards the ceiling. Lift your right arm towards the sky. Wrap your right arm under your left thigh, chin to chest. Inhale, sweep your right arm back up to the sky. And then set your right hand down. This time, step back to downward facing dog. Inhale, breath. Exhale it out. Inhale, come out long into plank pose. Knees can stay up or down, and then you lower all the way down to your belly this time. Flip your feet so the tops of your feet are in the mat. Slide your hands back ever so little, just back towards your waist some. Elbows up like wings towards the ceiling. Press into the tops of your feet. Lift up to upward facing dog. So arms get long, knees lift up off the floor. Press your heart forward between your arms here. And then you can lower your knees, rock your hips back and curl your toes and go to downward facing dog again. Inhaling and exhaling. On your inhale, lift your right leg towards the sky. Step your right foot forward. Maybe use your right hand around your right ankle to bring the foot further forward. Back foot grounds. Rise and open to warrior two again. Tip back to peaceful. And make your way to triangle this time. So lengthen through the right leg first. Sorry, my pants don't show any of this. Reach your arms forward. And then tic-tac down. So the right hand comes down either to a block or to the floor. And think about drawing your head towards the top of your mat as both hips draw towards the back of your mat. Roll the left shoulder behind you some. Reach up through the left arm as if there's something kind of energetically helping you not sink in to the ground more than you are expressing up into the air. Good, now bend your right knee, press your way back up to warrior two. Find your inhale and your peaceful warrior. Windmill down to the floor and step back to downward facing dog. Breathe in here and exhale it out. Lift your left leg to the sky. Step your left foot forward. Remember that idea of giving yourself a hand. Turn your right heel down, windmill up, Virabhadrasana 2. Tip your way back to peaceful. Breathe in nice and big. And then straighten your left leg. Reach beyond your mat with your left fingertips and make your way into Uttiti Trikonasana, triangle pose. Your gaze can be down at the floor, out in front of you, or up towards your right fingertips. One more breath. Press into both feet evenly to bend your left knee and come up and back into warrior two. Windmill down to the floor. This time, step back to plank. Lower your knees to tabletop, okay? And then right foot is just gonna kind of wing out to the right side of your mat. Left leg's gonna get long to set up for a variation of Vastisthasana, side plank. So my right foot is off to the right side of my mat, left leg gets long, and then I just peel my body open towards the left side of my mat. Now flip your right foot so the top of it is on the floor. Inhale, pull up, arms reach out long. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, tip over towards your left leg. Reach your right arm up alongside your head here. Breathing into the right side body. Maybe you slide your left fingers down your leg a tiny bit more. Beautiful. Inhale, back up, arms long. And just windmill them down. Make your way to tabletop. And switch it right away to the other side. So you're going to wing your left foot off to the side. Extend through the right leg. And then basically left hand, body, and right leg are all in one line. Okay. Reach up through your right fingertips, same as we were doing before. So equal parts pressing into the earth and reaching for the sky. When you inhale next, pull up, reach your arms out long. Find your footing here. And then exhale, tip over towards your right leg. Extending along the left side body, breathing into the left ribs and all the space between them. One more breath here. As you inhale, pull up. This time, cartwheel your hands down to your mat. Turn your feet back onto your mat. Curl your toes and lift up to downward facing dog. Inhale through the nose and exhale out the mouth. Lift through the right leg, breathe in, step forward between your thumbs, ground your back heel, rise to warrior one this time. So come up, orienting both hips and shoulders towards the top edge of your mat. If your belly's splashing out, the work is to draw navel to spine and deepen into the right knee. And then you could stay like this. You could draw your hands together over your head. Keep your pointer finger extended for Agni Mudra, Fire Mudra. Really press into the legs, lift up through the side body. And as you exhale, tip back, presenting your heart to the sky. Inhale back up to the center. Bring your hands to your heart. Lower your hands to the floor and step back to downward facing dog. Take a breath. And then lift your left leg. Step your left foot forward. Returning to warrior one on the second side. Pressing through the legs to draw the upper body up. And then finding equal parts. Press back through the right leg and down into the left leg. Draw the right hip and shoulder around so you're squaring to the top of your mat. Bring your hands together. Pointer fingers stay lifted. Feel that like a flame. Breathe in, and as you exhale, lift up through the heart. Reach towards the ceiling. Keep drawing the left knee forward towards the top of your mat. And then reach your arms straight up, gaze forward. Draw your hands to your heart. And step forward to the top of your mat. So right foot comes up next to left. Inhale, reach both arms up. Find a full freedom breath here. And exhale your hands to your heart center. Do that one more time. Breathe in, reach up. And then exhale your hands to your heart. Now press in to your left foot. Lift your right knee up like you're stepping up a giant step. And then bring your elbows up in line with your wrists. Press your palms together to really energize the upper body and bring stability into the upper body as you start to shift, moving the right leg back behind you. Step all the way back. Keep the back heel lifted this time. Coming into high crescent lunge. Keep the elbows up in line with the wrists. Press your palms together and feel how that spreads the space between your shoulder blades. Inhale here, and then take your right elbow outside your left thigh for a twist. So once you've hooked your right elbow outside your left thigh, extend through the spine again. Really articulate through this shape, which is a lot going on. You have to balance, you have to twist, and you have to breathe. One more breath, just like this. And then release your hands down by your left foot and step your right foot up to meet your left one. Hold in as you exhale. Come up, breathing in, sweeping your arms wide and then high. And exhale your hands to your heart center. This time we'll press into our right foot. First, bring wrists and elbows up in line with each other. Press them together so you feel that nice liveliness in the upper body, I'll call it. Lift your left knee and then make your big step. Once your left foot lands, shoulders come back over hips first. And then right knee goes forward as left heel presses back. So there's this tractioning action happening in the lower body. And then the upper body is finding its energy and stability through this press you have between your palms. Inhale now. Take your left elbow outside your right thigh. So activate through the left heel, drawing it towards the back of your mat. Think about where your belly button is and turning it towards the right side. On your right foot, this time we'll step back to downward facing dog. Inhale out long to plank. Bring your knees down. Take your elbows, keep your elbows in close and lower all the way down onto your belly. Flip the tops of your feet. Slide your hands back like an inch. And then come up on your next inhale into upward facing dog. Knees are up the mat. Heart is pressing through. Feel the back bend in this shape. And then lower your knees. Rock your hips back. Curl your toes and go to downward facing dog again. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in. And as you exhale, walk forward to the top of your mat. Fold in here, but heel toe your feet, hip distance apart, perhaps even a little bit wider than that. Bring opposite hand to opposite elbow. Gaze back between your legs. Really allow yourself to let the upper body cascade down over the lower one. And then release what you're doing with your hands. Slowly roll up. Just let your hands come up the fronts of your legs. Peel your shoulders back around behind you. And stand in Tadasana. And then we'll come into Vriksasana, tree pose. So I'll turn to face you for this. Start with your left foot down and make a kickstand out of your right foot. You could stay there, bring your left hand to your hip, right hand could reach down, grab your right ankle and place it somewhere above your knee. Hands come to the heart. Find that same thing with elbows coming up in line with wrists, pressing the palms together. Feel how that activates the backside body, making it bright, full of life. Then you could keep your hands together in Anjali Mudra and take them over your head today. You could keep the mudra like that, or you could turn your fingers down, except you point your fingers and turn it into Anjali Mudra again. I'm sorry, Agni Mudra. Press the left thigh and the right foot together in equal amounts. And then bring your hands to your heart. Release your right foot down nice and slow. Release your arms to your side and feel what it feels like to be back down to this grounded place. Inhale and exhale. And then we'll change to the other side. Right foot becomes your tether. Left foot becomes the kickstand to start with, and maybe this is where you stay. Otherwise, right hand on your hip, left hand you use to guide your left foot up into place. Find that equal pressure together towards the midline between your legs, and then do that same thing between your palms. Equal pressure. Stay here at your heart or take your arms up. Maybe you change to just pointer fingers extended, Agni Mudra. Feel like a candle here, burning bright at the tip. Hands return to the heart. Left leg returns to the floor. Release your arms to your side. Back to the beginning. Close your eyes here for a moment and feel how you can still feel movement in the body, even though you're quote unquote standing still. Let that remind you that everything is always changing, moving from how it was to how it is now, on to how it will be in the future. Remind yourself that if you turn towards that flow, life becomes much easier to navigate and more enjoyable. Okay, open your eyes, extend your arms wide and high. Exhale and forward fold all the way down to your mat. Find your halfway lift, and then plant your palms and step back to downward facing dog. In downward facing dog, step your feet up about 12 inches or about the width of your foot. Okay, so you're gonna have a short, kind of stubby downward facing dog for a moment here. Really allow your chest to press back towards your thighs. Keep a slight bend in your knees, so you're not locking your knees out. It's easier to do that in the shorter stance, but keep the little bend. Lift up through the hip creases. Press the heart towards the thighs. And then gaze forward between your thumbs and step your right foot up between your hands. And then rock both hips back, lengthening both legs so you're coming into a pyramid pose. You might heel toe your right foot off to the right a little bit, so your legs are on separate tracks. And then draw the right hip crease up and back. Lift up through your fingertips. Slide your upper body over your right thigh and fold. So if this is doing something to your knee that doesn't feel right, certainly come out of the pose. For just a couple more breaths, feel your upper body, relying on your lower one to do the work. And then press your fingers into the floor, lift up your upper body halfway, and you're going to bring your left knee behind your right knee and sit down to set up for a seated twist. So the left, it's kind of like a little curtsy. You're just going to sit down and you're going to come off to the left side of your mat so that you're not sitting on your left heel bone. Okay. And then reach your right arm up alongside your head and take it all the way around behind you and set your fingertips somewhere on the mat behind you. And then reach your left arm up. And as you exhale, turn to the right side of your mat and draw your left elbow down again. setting up for your twist. So we're not leaning back into our right hand, preferably at all. Okay, so spine is nice and tall, and the belly button up through the middle of the body is where the twist arises and then continues. And you can turn eventually and look back over your right shoulder. Keep the right foot active. It's the one towards the top edge of your mat. Don't grip the toes, but press down through the bottom of that foot. Feel how that energy rides up the right leg, giving you a little bit more room to twist, perhaps a little deeper. And then take both hands over to the left side of your mat. Place them about shoulder distance apart. Bend your elbows and press down through the center. Press back up and sweep your right, sweep your right leg around. You're just gonna come into tabletop here. Okay, so there's no really pretty way to get there. Just come back to tabletop and make some big circles with your hips, just moving around, churning on your mat some. After you go one direction, switch to the other. And then when you're back to tabletop, curl your toes and make your way to downward facing dog. After you're in down dog for a breath, step your feet up about 1 foot length. Be in that shorter dog. Maybe you can really spread through your shoulder blades now. Find that space there. Draw the shoulders away from your ears without locking out the knees. Lift and spread through the sit bones, crease the hips, gaze back. Lots going on in downward facing dog. And then look up towards your thumbs and step your left foot up there. Maybe you heel toe off to the left a bit. And then as both legs get long, you find your way into pyramid shape. Press through your fingertips so you can lift. Intentionally move your upper body over your left thigh and then lower it down again. Let your head release down over your left shin. One more moment here. And then lift up. You're going to bend the left knee, set the right knee down, and sit off to the right, setting up for your next seated twist. So left knee should be the one that's up, over towards the right side of your mat. Sometimes you have to move your bottom foot away from you a bit so that your left sit bone, in this case, can actually connect to the floor. Then inhale your left arm up. Twirl it around behind you, placing your fingertips on the mat behind you. Inhale your right arm up. Exhale, come into the twist. So once the elbow is hooked, then you get long through the spine and think about, you could even take your left hand like that elephant trunk again and wrap it around, being mindful and intentional about finding the twist from the navel up. Good, one more. And now we go all the way for the counter twist. Over to the right side of your mat, pressing down between your elbows and then pushing back up. And this time we'll just unravel our legs and place our feet out in front of us, hip distance apart. Extend your arms out in front of you. And as you exhale, lower down onto your back. Once you're all the way down onto your back, bring your heel bones up close to your sit bones. And then once they're there, take your arms out like a T. Lift your right leg up towards the sky. And then make like a figure 4 out of your right leg by bringing your right ankle down just below your left knee here. Now take your right arm, thread it through the center of your 2 legs, lift your left foot up so you can wrap your hands either around the top of your left shin or behind your left knee crease. Knee crease is a little more accessible, top of the shin, little deeper stretch. And then the idea is to draw the left knee towards your body or your belly and move your right knee away from your right shoulder. So simultaneously, one knee is moving towards you, the left one, and the right knee is moving away from you. And you'll feel this stretch in your right glute, into your right thigh. And see if you're holding tension in your shoulders like I just was, and relax them down. And then let go of your left knee crease or shin. Bring your both feet down onto the floor for a moment. And then press your right foot into the floor so you can extend your left leg up. Then it crisscrosses in front of your right knee. Left arm is the one that threads between your legs this time. You find your shin or the back of your right knee or thigh. And then left knee moves away as right knee is drawn forward. Use a little bit of the arm action to keep drawing that right knee forward. And then it's just continually reminding yourself to keep moving the left knee away from you, getting the full benefit of this stretch. And let go of your right leg. Take your arms out like a T and stretch both legs up towards the sky for a few moments here. See if you can find that sweet spot where they can just sort of dangle, not requiring much effort on your part to keep them there. It's kind of a continual kind of searching for where is that spot where I can do less work. Just allow gravity to draw your legs back down into the pelvis. It should feel fairly restorative. For some people, this is kind of a lot of work. So this is what it is. And then as you bring your feet down towards the floor, aim for the outer edges of your mat. So you'll have a wide foot or stance between your feet, and then let your knees come together here. Bring your left hand to your heart if you'd like, and your right hand onto your belly. Close your eyes. Take your attention to your breath. And allow yourself just to feel the midline of the body, where your knees are joining one another. Right up where your right hand is resting on your belly and where your left hand is resting on your heart. And allow that focus on the midline to let you drop in. Feel sensations in the body, emotions come and go, thoughts arise and fall away. When all of that is happening, you know the body is doing what the body is intended to do. Your subtle body is doing what it's intended to do. And you're here practicing, staying in the present, allowing it all to come, and watching it all go. And reach your arms out like a T again. Hug your thighs into your belly. And then exhale both knees over to the left. Allow the right shoulder to stay towards the mat, preferably on it. And just feel into this twist. Permitting the left side and the right side of the body to be different now. Not making a big story about that, just being with this experience. And then lead with your right leg back up to the middle, left to follow, and exhale both knees over to the right. Same thing, but completely different because it's a second side. Some ways you could say even a completely different body. Find this moment, find your breath, let it all be as it is. And leading with your left leg, pull your legs back up to the center. Extend your legs out long on your mat. Reach your arms up over your head for a full body stretch. A nice big cleansing inhale through the nose. And a long exhale out the mouth. Let your arms come down by your side now, but away from your side body. Turn your palms up. Maybe you distance your legs from one another. And then enjoy some moments of Shavasana. Letting all the fruits of your movement and the benefit of linking breath and movement together coalesce now, giving you a beautiful experience of being you. 5 elements, an emotional, a physical, and a subtle body, masculine energy, feminine energy, all arising and expressing in only the way it can do it through you. You are welcome to stay as you are for as long as this day permits you to stay here before you have to move on to the next thing. Otherwise, you can bring yourself up to your seat and bring yourself back to where we started. Hands pressed together in front of your heart in Anjali Mudra. Honoring how you have brought all the pieces of you together for this moment of sweet surrender and celebration of being who you are. Thank you for your practice. Thank you for being part of this community. Enjoy the expanse of the day that lies in front of you. Namaste.